Hey everyone, Ben here, and today I'm looking back at an incident which I'm sure will be familiar to loads of you watching. This is the kind of race-ending collision which just boggles the mind, and then it's compounded by a really poor reaction from the other driver involved. Before we get there, let me explain what we're racing. This is my first ever GTE race from the beginning of Season 1 2024. We're at Mugello and I'm starting in the mid-pack. Now the beginning of this race and the opening laps were actually remarkably clean. It felt like everyone was taking account of the fact that races in this series are 45 minutes long, and so there's no need to rush overtakes at this early stage. In fact, we were involved in a great bit of fighting with this Porsche driver early on. And you can see here I've defended nicely into turn 1, but ultimately over the next few laps I couldn't shake him off, and by lap 6 he managed to find the grip around the outside into T1 and held the overtake. Very nicely done. So I'm still racing on the fringes of the top 10 here. I'm lapping consistently quite deep into the race, and I've got a driver who's begun to close in when quite out of nowhere, bang, we are out of the race. So what on earth happened there then? Well, as we view the replay footage, here's some additional context. The driver behind did not have a huge pace difference with me. By the end of the race, his best lap time was actually 1/10 slower than mine. This wasn't a 6k driver recovering through the field. At this point, he'd never attempted an overtake, much less been alongside me into any corner. Now, some of you watching might still feel he was entitled to more space, but I'm afraid we'll have to agree to disagree, and that's fine to do so, by the way. For me, I'm on the racing line and I've never deviated from it. I was running at 190 km/h at the point of contact, in the middle of a high-speed sweeping corner, until literally a second before the contact his lights are in my rear view monitor. There's no way I can reasonably anticipate he's going to stick a tiny bit of his nose down the inside. This is a corner where you need to be well alongside heading into the first braking zone to even attempt a clean overtake, especially in high-powered GT cars. So why has he done this? Well, immediately after the race he blamed me for not letting him through, referring to me as stupid in the process, and then disconnected. So we'll never know for sure, but clearly he was in a big hurry, a big enough hurry that he decided it preferable to drive through me than line up and overtake properly as the Porsche driver had done earlier in the race. I will never understand this kind of behaviour from sim drivers online, because let's be clear, he was super lucky not to end his own race here as opposed to just ending mine. So ultimately this was not a great experience in the GTE series. But if you'd like to see the kind of hard but fair battling that sim racing should be all about, then I think you'll really enjoy the video that's on screen now.